Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all honor and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles and the bishops of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect, starting with the 144,000 governing body of the nation of Yasha Allah, and the men, the women, the children, the true believers in the name of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. May he have mercy on you in these last days. It's your brother, I am Nawa Allah, coming back at you with another lesson. And Lord willing, this will be edifying. And this lesson is going into the speckled bird. Okay? This is dealing with, the so-called white man, the so-called black man. Look at these two children right here. These are what appear to be Edomite children, right? Blonde hair, not unless it's the blue eyes, but from the bird's eye, just walking down the street, if you didn't try the spirit, if you didn't know their lineage, you would assume these would be Edomites. And that's a problem within the Israelite so-called world community. You see, I am too guilty of that. When I first came into the truth, I thought all Israelites were melanated people. I thought all Israelites were so-called Negroes. I did believe that they were Native Americans, Latinos, Latinos, Native Americans, but I didn't have the 100% truth. And that's why at Great Millstone, we boldly say we have the 100% truth. Okay? But I'm here to tell you, these two children right here are full-blooded Israelites. Okay? Now, I'll say I'm not too sure which tribe they're from, but I can definitely say they're Southern Kingdom, and I'm gonna show you in a minute. So why am I bringing this out? Because a lot of Israelite groups are still pushing that this can't be. There won't be no Israelites looking like this. Even no Israelites that look like that are part of the Latino and Native Americans. They're just all Negro. And that's so far from the truth. And it also shows you these Israelite groups are adding and taking from the scriptures in order to fulfill their entitled mindset. But here, again, at Great Millstone, we're looking for salvation. And we must teach the 100% truth when it's taught to us. And I did my own research when I found that out. And I came to the full understanding that the apostles, starting with the Apostle Tahar on down, were right. And the men that were teaching the same understanding. These are Israelites. Israelite boy, Israelite girl. More than likely, Judah or I want to say Levi. Yeah. Either Judah, Yahweh, or Laya. That's what they would be. So that is a more than likely a Judite woman, will grow up to be a Judite woman to the right, and a Judite young man or Levi, Lawyer. That's how you say Lawyer. Joined on to Yahweh. Judah, Yahweh. Thanks, Yahweh. Those are the Hebrew biblical names for those tribes, and these two, their lineage goes back to that. So I'm gonna just say the Southern Kingdom. You say, well, why do you say that? How do you know? These are Patrick Mahomes' two children. All right. If you know Patrick Mahomes, he's the NFL quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, right? And he's considered what the world calls biracial. But in fact, he too is Southern Kingdom, either Levi or Yahweh. That being said, okay, their mother is, these two right here, their mother is a so-called white woman. But she could be an Israelite too. I don't know. I'm going by, what I see. She kind of, I'm leaning towards that. But again, I could be wrong. But with these two, I'm not wrong. Well, I got receipts to back it up, right? So these are Patrick Mahomes' children, and he got another one. Okay, so he got 3 children that look and took on the features of their mother. Not to mention, he's a very fair-skinned brother himself. So this is the end result, right? But again, to the world, they're going to be biracial, right? And even to the certain Israelite groups, if they saw them and didn't try the spirit or didn't know the truth, they would condemn these children and call them Edomites. But they're not. These would be your brothers and sisters. If you say you're an Israelite, right? If you say you are an Israelite and you follow Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, then you must accept that these children right here are to your brother blood in the spirit. Okay? Not that they are part of the elect. That we're not talking about that. We're just merely making a point, because we got to keep bringing these things out so that whoever you may be out there that look like one of these these children right here and have been told that you couldn't possibly be an Israelite, but the spirit is in you. You believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, or you just know you're not a so-called white person, but you look like him. Then this is for you. And if you are, and you come across this video, you must repent and turn back to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Okay? So now let's keep going. How can I say this? Well, we know, right, that you are the seed of your father, right? This is Patrick Mahomes' father, right? Look at that. Those are his grandchildren. Look at the difference after just one generation, right? Because Patrick Mahomes, he didn't take on the whole features of his mother. He took features from both. He still has a little kind of like woolly hair, but he's very fair-skinned. But then he laid and made seed with a so-called white woman, and now the children look like so-called white people. This is why the real men of the Lord are out here to rightfully divide the word of truth and to discern and to try the spirit by the spirit, so that you, whoever you may be, you come across one of our videos through the power of spirit Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, you will understand the glory and the power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Because guess what? This man right here is, again, either he's Yahweh or lawyer, Levi, Judah or Levi, Southern Kingdom, definitely. And he had Patrick Mahomes with a so-called white woman, and then you see the end result. If he was walking down the street with them 2 children, you couldn't tell a white motherfucker or a nigga that them his blood grandchildren. They're going to say, oh, he must be their step-grandfather. Nope. That they come from his loins, his lineage, which still goes back to Israel. So they are Israelites. You see? And that's important to know. While you walking around here, you Israelites out there, they're waking up to the truth, and you don't have the full understanding. Know that there is a lot of Israelites among the Edomites. That I could say among so-called white people, but they're actually Israelites. You don't know until you try the spirit, and you might not get to try the spirit. The Lord is cold and balanced, because there's a lot of niggas walking around here that's dark as Wesley Snipes that go back to the Edomites. And that's the power behind Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. That's why we know we got the 100% truth. So this is not offensive to me. You see? When a so-called white people come up to the camera or to the camp, you ain't supposed to be trying to get them to bow. You can get them their judgment if they are truly Edomites. But what if they bow, if they were really Israelites and just didn't know? You have now condemned yourself. You have put yourself in a situation where you got to find out and repent, because you don't know. You got to try the spirit. And a lot of groups ain't doing that, especially these Israelite groups that did just come out and they didn't want to come under the righteous works of our elders apostles, right? You got several Israelite camps that don't go into this part of the scriptures. But this is a part of salvation, right? We're going to read it. Knowing the fact that the Lord did this, it is set up for a lot of you to be a snare and a trap, because you're going to be offended when you find out that blonde-haired, blue-eyed looking Edomite was really an Israelite and the Lord was dealing with him. You see, we got to get past all that, because this is a spiritual thing that we're attaining, and this spiritual discernment that's been given to us. And you should be very thankful that the Lord did it that way, because it helps you to understand how to read spirits instead of looking at the flesh and the outer man, right? Look at that. That's Michael Jackson's daughter. We already know. But again, from the naked eye, that looked like a straight up white woman. There's her dad. So she is an Israelite. She's an Israelite with blonde hair and blue eyes. You see? And again, would she be accepted if she wasn't Michael Jackson's father? Just, you know, or you didn't even know she was Michael Jackson's father, and she walked up to a camp and she was interested. And you tell her, well, you actually, you have a husband, and she say, yeah, my husband's, he's a so-called white man, but something about this, what you all are saying, it just it resonates with me, right? You would turn her away, or you would say, oh, she gonna be my slave, she gonna be my concubine. But you might have fucked up saying that, you might have fucked up thinking that. Well, you wouldn't even say that if you're a real righteous man and you found that she has a husband. You wouldn't say that, whether she's an Edomite or not, because we don't do that, right? But nevertheless, that's an Israelite. The same with them two looking so-called white children we just showed you, who are Patrick Mahomes' children, whose father, Patrick Mahomes Sr., is the grandfather, right? Let's get the scriptures. This is Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month. And they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers. See, the word pedigree. Let's look that up real quick. Pedigree refers to a record chart or a list of ancestors that traces the lineage of a person or animal. In this case, we're talking about people, right? It says, and after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, by their polls. So the Lord letting you know it ain't your color, it's the seed. Whatever sperm came out of and went into, if that's a Edomite and it goes into a so-called black woman and the baby come out looking a little chocolate but got good hair, light-skinned, that nigga ain't no so-called black man or Israelite. That's a fucking Edomite. That's what it go. That's how it go. See, a lot of these black women out here, they don't realize they made marriages with Satan. They made marriages with the devil. Their children are condemned. I don't give a fuck how great they are, how nice they are. The Lord ain't dealing with no fucking Edomites. You see? But it ain't got nothing to do with how you look, as we're showing right here. The Lord's going to have mercy on Paris Jackson, even though she's a little demon. The Lord's going to have mercy. And when I say mercy, they will be in the kingdom of heaven to come. And they will get their right pigment back. And they will know that they are Israelites. Right now, they don't know. Patrick Mahomes, and his children, they going to be in the kingdom to come. They might get destroyed on this side, but they're Israelites. And Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua sent this son to die for all Israel. It's just that the elect is the ones that's waking up on this side to be delivered. But the Lord don't make no mistakes. You see? This is Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. So this is why you believe, because the so-called white man know is through the seed of the Father, but he corrupted the words of the Lord and said, no, it's the woman who determines the lineage. It's the woman who decides if you're this or that, or we'll just do this. We'll share. You'll be mixed. There's no fucking such thing. The Lord he is not the author of confusion. So that's a lie. It says, so when the Lord said, and thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will give thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. You don't know this is that land. And he took your heritage from you, which is the law, statutes, and commandments. And one of the laws, I just read it to you in Numbers 1 and 18. The law is you determine that lineage by the seed of the Father. But in America, they don't keep that law. They don't keep that. That's our heritage right there. They got all of our records. So, I consider myself Yahweh or Judah, but I could be Levi. Okay? I could be a northern kingdom. But in the spirit, I really do believe I'm from the tribe of Yahweh. All right? It says, for ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. And that fire was because we served idols. And so he did what? He scattered us among all the nations. And wherever we go, when we put our seed in that woman, if they of that other nation, that child is still an Israelite. Point, period, blank. That's why you got Israelites all over the world. But the 2/3 and the 1/3 of Israel are heavily concentrated here in America. You see? And that would include Patrick Mahomes and his children and his father. Again, I don't know about the grandmother or the mother of Patrick Mahomes' children. They could be Israelites. I don't know that. I'm going by what I know and the research that I've done, right? And it doesn't matter because the children are saved through the father anyway, or if they're Israelites. Let's see. This is Jeremiah chapter 12 and verse 9. Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field.